Hey guys, in this podcast we had a very interesting discussion about cloud and DevOps with one of our expert, Mr. Kumar. Here we were talking about how it is going to be in 2024 and what is the impact because of AI on cloud and DevOps field. Please watch this video till end. You will get more insights about it. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. And today I'm going to interview one of the interesting person who was producing content in Valaxy platform earlier. And whenever he has time, he share his experience. Okay, that is where I'm bringing him again back to our platform. He is none other than Mr. Kumar, and he is working in IT from past 15 to 16 years plus, and he worked with Amazon, and currently he is working with Microsoft, and he is working as a cloud architect. Besides that, he is a Udemy instructor. He has a very good courses and great courses on cloud security and cloud automation, and it is really going to be a great session or great podcast. Stay tuned till the end. This information definitely going to helpful for you to transform your career in the cloud and DevOps. With that context, let me welcome Mr. Kumar. Hey Kumar, welcome back to Valaxy Technologies, and I would like to just introduce yourself to our crowd so that they can understand better.
Yeah, sure. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. It has been quite a long time since we founded Valaxy a few years back and making a lot of content. Absolutely thrilled to be here and share some of my experience, and hopefully some people will find it useful. Let's get this going.
Yeah, thank you. And with that, yeah, I would just like to ask, okay, because our crowd might not knew complete your profile. So if you quickly share your experience, what you were doing, what you are doing, that would be helpful.
Yeah, you gave a good introduction, so I'm just going to fill in some of the missing pieces and add some details here and there. So it has been more than 20 years now, started playing around with the computers, writing small code, doing development work. Then I got a break with IBM and spent a long time in IBM doing lots of things. That is where I met you there. A lot of fun times and fun memories. And there I got interested in different pieces of technology, whether it is operating systems or storage or networking or how all these pieces fit together. And then I moved into the architecting space in IBM. IBM gave me that opportunity there. And world was shifting. This is also the time when on-prem was not fancy anymore. We see many shifts. This was the time that I saw cloud was taking up a new journey. And I wanted to enjoy the cloud journey. And because I've seen applications being deployed in on-prem, and the cloud gave me a promise of doing it differently. Then I took that journey, did it for a few years with the different consulting companies, and then I ended up with Amazon. Amazing journey there, a few years. And then Microsoft came and said, hey, do you want to come and help us? I said, yeah, why not? I've been doing this for many long years. I can do it for Microsoft as well. So that is where I am. Multiple shifts, multiple technologies, multiple organizations, consulting, product companies, service companies. So different journeys. Been so good so far.
Okay, yeah, really great. I do remember the days where we were working together. And yeah, with that, okay, I could feel that, okay, you started your architect journey too early in your career, if I'm not wrong, more than 14, 15 years.
You're right. It was a conscious choice. As I said, I've been experimenting writing code since my college days or school days. So I got into computers pretty early and got excited about how things work together when it is application or how the operating systems. And after a point, I was like, who is making all these designs of these applications and architectures? I want to be the person who is doing the design, not just writing the code. Then I decided I will get into that. And I'm thankful to my managers and the mentors who helped me there. Initially, I struggled, but because as you mentioned, I got into that profession much earlier. So
Yep.
Yes, it has been quite a long time, but early, rewarding.
Yep, definitely. Okay, that's true. Now, okay, as per your experience, okay, you have shifted to multiple roles or multiple technologies in that prospect. So could you share your experience when you want to adapt with the new technology or you want to switch from one technology to another technology? What was your steps or what is the your go-to work or things you do to do that one, to adapt to the new technology? Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Yeah, I consider this as a two-part question. What I will do is I will explain or I will try to explain what I did And as a recommendation, I'll follow it up what other people can do, because what one person does is quite often doesn't meet the other person's requirement. So that is why I'm taking it as a two-part question. One is this is based on a lot of what my mentors have taught me also. What I do is I set a goal towards for me where I want to reach, whether it is an architecture, for example, or learning cloud, for example, or learning machine learning, artificial intelligence, set up a goal. And for achieving that goal, maybe this is my next job role also, maybe this is my next project, maybe it's a fun activity that I want to use and learn. So whatever it is, I set up a target goal. And for that, achieving the target goal, I go ahead and talk to people or research and then make up a plan saying that, okay, these are all the pieces or steps I need to take to reach that end goal. And quite often I do that a combination of talking to people. I just call up my friends who are working in that role already, or reach out to people in LinkedIn, or reach out to people in Medium and message them saying, hey, I'm learning this. Can you help me out? Today, it is much more easier to do because of all the social media, and the people are building their social connects and they're reaching out and they're also helping. In those days, you need to talk to your mentors within your peer groups or within your company. So this is what I do. I set up a goal and then I reverse work from there and then say what steps I need to do. Maybe it is technology. For example, if I take cloud, AWS is where I started. I go and see how do I deploy a VM? How do I deploy a storage? How do I connect all these things to run an application? And new beginners, you can try the same thing. You set up a goal and then see what are the pieces required and then the technology that is required, and then start small projects, POCs. If you see my GitHub also, I started committing somewhere actively in the public community since 2014 or 2012. Very small projects. Some of them are basically hello world projects, but over a period of time, I was able to move my skill level, complexity level, and then reach and competence. And then I can go to another manager and say, hey, I have done all these things. Look at my history in public profile, and then tell them that, hey, I have the competence of doing this new job that you have, and can I apply for that job, or can you give me that job? So the manager has the ability to go back and look at my work that I've already done, whether it is Medium or GitHub or whatever it is in LinkedIn. And they can say, okay, this person has expertise, and it makes a much easier conversation to go and get the job. And for the new joiners, new beginners, if you're not having an enterprise, go ahead and document your work, talk to people, publish everything, and document everything.
Okay. Yeah, great that. Okay, added to this one, even I can call it as a social proof, technical social proof to this one, so that
Yes.
building your profile where it showcases your experience. And even this is my opinion. Nowadays, people are just not listening what you say in the resume. They are just looking, have you actually done it or not? If it is done, somehow it is captured in the public profiles, or publicly somewhere in the GitHub or LinkedIn or some Medium articles. Okay. So yeah, if you are someone who want to expose yourself and showcase that the work you have already done, what companies are expecting, maybe you can showcase it through the GitHub or LinkedIn or Medium. Go and publish it, whatever you know. Okay, people liked it, or if they want to know what skill you are having, yep, they can find it out. Instead of saying that, okay, I'm going to do, you can tell them that I have already done it.
Exactly.
Yeah, great that, okay, you have added that. Okay, next thing. Okay, this is the typical question mostly many people asks me. Okay, having worked with the both Amazon and Microsoft, what observation can you share about the unique cloud journeys of these two leading companies? Nothing but, okay, if somebody want to enter into the cloud or DevOps market space, okay, they have a confusion that, okay, which cloud should I need to choose? Okay, Amazon or Microsoft? Of course, those are the leaders. Apart from that, a few other are there, but let's talk about the leader. Okay, if they want to take a decision, okay, what and all things they can consider?
It's both the easy and a difficult question, right? First of all, very simplest strategy: choose one cloud, irrespective of it, because you will not go wrong with choosing AWS or Azure today. Both of them have a place in the market, and adoption is almost to reach the peak, I would say. When I say almost reach the peak, we are talking about a westernized world. In Asia Pacific, the adoption is much lesser. That means that there's a lot of growth that is pending. A lot of organizations are still have not completely gone into cloud, so there's a lot of growth pending in the Asia Pacific market. But if you talk about the westernized world in Europe and the US, its cloud is table stakes, de facto standard. Almost all companies have some workloads in the cloud. So you will not go wrong with choosing one cloud. So that's the first thing. Choose any one cloud. Nothing wrong in that. Next thing is, how do I choose which cloud? it comes with some of your own experience. If you assume, let us assume a person who has some experience in technology, maybe it is development, maybe it is in the infrastructure piece of it. See which one you are naturally gravitating towards. You will have an inclination, hey, I want to automate everything. I like this user interface. I like the documentation that is provided by one provider. Or your colleagues or peers who can help you are having expertise, then choose that, because both of them at the base level have similar functionality. Where you're launching a VM, launching storage, launching networks, the functionality is pretty much, there will be some differences, but for a new learner, those differences doesn't matter. Just go ahead and learn one cloud, simple as that. And to be clear and precise, both the clouds have amazing documentation publicly available free, and they also have publicly available courses also for free. Apart from that, there is Medium, LinkedIn, Udemy, you name it, there are other courses which you can pay and get also, including Valaxy also have some courses which is combining all those things as a full package. So choose one cloud, choose which one you will get maximum help from the community, then start building something. I like the word that Shankar put, social proof. Create the social proof of your learning and then go into the job market. And then you will definitely have success.
Yeah, even I have the similar opinion that, okay, whenever people say that, okay, what is your requirement? If somebody is already working, okay, if your project demands, it could be either AWS or Azure or GCP, go with that one, because ultimately we are doing for the project demand. Once you learned, okay, maybe learning other cloud could be easy. Okay, anyway, that question is coming up. Okay, so my next question is, okay, related to this one. If somebody learned cloud alone, nothing but it could be AWS or Azure or GCP, okay, can they hit the market with the cloud skill alone? Okay, if they hit, what could be the challenges they face? Or if they want to overcome, what they can do added to the cloud skill?
That is an interesting question. I wish we were having this question in early 2010s, 2015. So that ideally, if we are in that situation, if you had only cloud, you will definitely get a job. But today, as I mentioned earlier, the developed world has already adopted cloud. Already they have engineers working for them, doing a lot of stuff on cloud. So they need more than cloud skills today. So having just cloud alone, is there a job market? Yes, there's a very small job market. There will be companies here and there will be hiring only purely, or there's another extreme also. The company is super big and they need specific skill sets. Then in that case, and if, for example, there are, I had colleagues who specialize in networking for 15, 20 years when I was working in IBM itself. They are so deep into the networking stack and they were able to translate that into cloud also. And they do only that even in cloud. If you are having that level of deep expertise, then yes, only cloud skills is enough. But if you're a beginner, then only cloud alone is put you at a disadvantage, I would say. It is not going to be, you will not be the first choice, most probably. So you need to learn other skills depending upon if you're a development background, choose some development tools. If you are from an infrastructure background or if you're finding other tools difficult, choose the DevOps ecosystem. Then you will find much higher success. Again, that is also changing, but for now, it's a recipe for success.
Yeah. Even I have the similar opinion on this one. Okay. Then I'm going to come to the next question, okay, which is quite interesting, I can say. Okay. So nowadays we can hear about the AI everywhere. Okay. So how do you think that, okay, the adoption of the AI is going to happen in the cloud and DevOps market? Is it going to disrupt the current market standards, or is it going to change the work, the way what we worked earlier and the way what we are going to work? And how we can utilize this opportunity as we are already in the market, or as a first advantage? Do you have any recommendations and your opinion about the AI?
Yeah, I will give a couple of examples that I have come across. I believe we were discussing before this podcast. Also, you shared one example. We'll come to that as well. The example that I'm going to share is very similar to that one. Today, I use at least 3 to 4 AI tooling for doing some of my jobs, whether it is doing a transcription of a meeting, finding a meeting agenda, or summarizing my email. Almost everything that I do is augmented, or the stress or the workload is reduced by using AI. So this is just for an architect. The same is the case for some DevOps engineer also. If you have a problem, now you don't have to only troubleshoot in searching in Google or Stack Exchange. You can go and ask certain chatbots, and it will give you an indication of what could be the problem. So that means that the amount of time you're searching and finding the solution, it is coming down from, let us say, a few minutes to seconds now. Probably you just type a question. Sometimes if you're lucky, you will get the exact answer. Of course, if you're unlucky, you will have to search again. But it is coming down to a few seconds now because you have an expert available. So when you apply that to any role, whether it is an AI engineer, cloud engineer, architect, everybody's job is enhanced or their productivity is enhanced by using AI. So the future is going to be more and more of this only. So that is why I see AI increasing the quality of life, increasing the productivity of these people will be much, much higher going forward. There will be cases where it goes completely wrong, but that is where we need the human intelligence to go and put the guardrail saying, okay, this answer is wrong, I'm not going to use it. But how many times it is going to go wrong? Right now, for my use cases, it's very, very less. So
Okay.
in short, the DevOps engineer's life will be much, much easier with AI. That also means that you may not need that many DevOps engineers doing only DevOps. You need DevOps plus AI.
Yeah, even I would like to share that. Okay, even how I used AI for this podcast. I prepared my list of the questions. I was taking help from the AI. Is there anything I can ask extra, or is there any order I can do that? Okay, so yeah, everywhere you can use it. Okay, provided that if your company allows to use it. Okay, disclaimer that is especially. So yeah, that's good. Yeah, DevOps engineers also should adapt. And for that matter, even I felt that in any job you can use it. It is just like a tool how the Google, how we are using nowadays. Okay, it will be replaced with the AI.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Great. So yeah, DevOps engineers, you should adapt for the AI, how to use it. Okay. By the way, I can share my experience along with this one. Okay. Recently, we had a requirement of deleting couple of policies which are not used. I mean to say custom policies which we created. So I was taking AI help. Okay. But that is internally developed AI, I can say. Okay. Which is our company is using. I just take that help and I could able to generate the Python script with that and could able to done the activity within 30 minutes. If you ask me that without help of AI, I might take 3 to 4 days for sure. So it will be speed up the way what you want to do and what you would like to deliver.
Yeah. This is exactly what I meant by having an expert next to you and reducing the troubleshooting time or finding solution time much, much shorter.
Okay. Yeah. That's great. So yeah, and another thing is, okay, as you are in the cloud space, okay, and you are working with cloud providers, okay, how they are using AI in their development environments, or how you are using, and how the cloud adoption is happening for the AI. Any light on that?
Without giving out the secrets of what the companies are doing, let me put it blindly this way. AI is getting incorporated everywhere, in at least in my enterprise. As I already mentioned, this is all public knowledge. I'm just going to bring what is already published in the market to this podcast now. For example, if I open my communication tooling when I'm talking to my colleagues, let us say there is a team chat that is going on, 20 people are talking from morning, I can go ahead and click on a button which will summarize the conversation that I have missed. So I don't have to spend time reading what the last 3 hours of conversation or 4 hours of conversation. Just click a button and every conversation is summarized. Another example is, let us say there is a long email thread that is going on for a very long time. I click on a button, there is a summary of that email. For this is on a productivity for an employees. How about deploying new services? Of course, we all talk about Amazon recommendations, right? You go to the website, Amazon knows almost, it's like having somebody in your house. It knows what you want to buy. It gives recommendation saying that, hey, you are searching for this product. Probably you need this also. Or people who bought this like this. If you go to Netflix, it recommends movies based on what you watched. So these recommendation engines are everywhere. What is the recommendation is basically an AI that is looking at all your histories, all your profiles and doing this. So AI is there in my company, current employer, previous employer, other companies, everywhere. It's more and more becoming into our daily lives now. Now, for example, think of this use case that one of my customers is doing. This is very simple use case. It's also public again. Chat, or if you make a phone call to, let us say we are in India, right? We are calling Airtel, and then you're having a conversation with your agent. And at the end of the call, the agent has to summarize what was the conversation about. There is an audio recording, but the agent has to summarize in text saying that that person was calling me about a SIM card issue and they were calling me about a new connection, put all the text, and then I gave them this resolution into a tool. What if there is a button which will recognize all the conversation and then do that? So the agent doesn't have to do anything.
True.
It just happens. Now you reduce the agent's effort. Now think of how many calls that will happen in Airtel and how much time is saved for Airtel now. And you do this for every industry, whether wherever you call people, banks, insurance, wherever you call people, Zomato, whatever. You just reduce so much of wastage now. AI is everywhere, in short.
Yep. That's really a great example, actually. Okay, so that we can utilize the tools to just simplify our jobs instead of spending more time on the things which doesn't have much value. Okay, or else which takes longer time repeated activities. Okay.
Yeah.
With that context, I want to bring this point. Okay, when we meet last time in Netherlands, you were saying that okay, so far through the Google, information is free. Okay, but with AI, thinking is free. As you give an example, like okay, Amazon is thinking behalf of us, and it is telling that what you need to buy.
Exactly. Yeah, I just expanded the analogy now, going back to the printing press. Exactly what you mentioned, the printing press made sure that knowledge or information from everybody's head is printed into a book so that it is not lost, a person is not available, or it can be redistributed now without that person. If there was a revolution in the printing press, Google made that information searchable. Now you don't have to go to a library and read 10 books to get that information. You can type it in a query box and then get all the information from 10, 20 books or 30 books. What AI is doing is making that not only information is free now, expertise. Somebody is digesting the 10, 20 books and giving you a paragraph saying this is the most important thing that is important in these 10, 20 books. So that is like, think of it, if you are a school student or a cloud engineer or a DevOps engineer, you have a senior mentor next to you who is not going to be worried about why are you asking dumb questions. Because ask any question to the AI, and AI is going to tell you how to launch an EC2, how to launch an VM, Azure VM, how to create a blob or a S3. It can tell you step by step, just like a baby, and then you can go ahead and learn it. It's the same for people at home also. You can go and say, how do I make idli sambar, for example? It will give you the recipe for that because of an expert there.
That's true. And it doesn't look like, oh, what the question is this?
Exactly. So information is free in search engines. Now expertise is free.
Yeah. Okay, great to know that. And another question to add at this one. What is your opinion because of AI? Okay, it is picking up quite rapidly. Okay, does it really create impact on the jobs what we are working, especially in the cloud and DevOps market or in the any market for that matter? So does it create new jobs or does it going to what I can say destroy most of the jobs? What is your opinion on this?
Okay. If I can take an extreme opinion and then come to a more realistic opinion, the extreme opinion is a DevOps engineer, or you can replace the DevOps with an architect or a cook or a plumber, any role. A DevOps engineer plus AI will replace an only DevOps engineer.
Okay.
So that is where I'm seeing the market growing. For example, a solutions architect who is using AI will replace a solutions architect who is not using AI. As we talked about, the amount of time that you take for a certain activity is reduced when you're using AI. So that means that the number of people to do the job or the productivity of the person who is using AI is much, much higher. So when productivity goes up, do you need that many people? Maybe not. That is the extreme point of view. But more realistically, we are not yet there, but the market is switching towards that area. So it is, you need to adopt it, you need to learn how to work with it and then figure it out. And tools are free. Go ahead and experiment.
Okay, so you mean to say that the skill, whatever you are having, added to that one, if you add your AI skill, prompting, how you can make AI as your assistant, then you are in the front row to secure your job.
Absolutely.
And added to this one, okay, this is my personal opinion. So with AI or whatever we are doing, it is more like we are driving towards to the IT itself, nothing but using the more technology. Whenever there is more technology, obviously, okay, whatever tools it comes, it is going to create more jobs. That's what I feel. Maybe the thing what we do right now, we might not do. If you do remember that when cloud came, even I had that perception that okay, it is going to replace the backup engineers, network engineers, storage engineers, but it didn't happen. Okay, the jobs has lost, but it produces the new jobs in the new segment. So even with AI also, okay, my personal opinion, okay, if it is replaced DevOps job, okay, it doesn't mean that we stop with the DevOps. We think beyond that one and we start utilizing the technology in such a way to create new things to make our world is a better place.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. If I can reflect back, I'm not even sure when the word DevOps was coined. At least in my limited opinion, when I started this career, I never heard of DevOps. And it's somewhere along the line, cloud became everybody's vocabulary. You cannot have a conversation without cloud, without DevOps. Now AI is like that. You cannot have a conversation without AI. But
Okay.
ask anybody what is next, nobody knows. Whether it is AI ops or Dev AI ops, I don't know. There is something new will come, some new terminology will come. But this is the trend that I'm seeing. So let us be ready for that.
Yeah, and we have proven that we can adapt to anything. So for whatever happened, so it is going to happen. Don't worry, AI doesn't take your jobs. You are
Exactly.
going to take it.
Exactly.
Advantage of AI. Okay, added to that one. Okay, now I'm coming little bit slightly to the towards to the DevOps. I heard a little bit of MLOps. Okay, so few people are asking that. Okay, how it is going to be? What could be the future of MLOps? Or uh, in the DevOps itself, is there anything new is going to come? Okay, do you have any ideas or expertise on these areas?
Yeah. I do not work extensively on the ML ops side, but my opinion is AI, whether it is GPT tooling or I gave you the Airtel example, somebody has to create that model. Today, you do not, the learning barrier has been reduced. You are consuming a lot of APIs now. You don't need to be a machine learning, a PhD or a data scientist to do AI stuff today. That's
Mm.
the barriers for learning and barriers for adoption is much easier today. So in my opinion, ML ops is where you take a model which is not trained to your use case, then you train it to your use case, put it into production, do a versioning, do a life cycle. Then this entire life cycle management is ML ops, machine learning operations, right? That is what ML is ops is short for. But today you are going to consume a lot of APIs where you integrate those APIs from OpenAI or cloud or some other provider. When I say cloud, it is cloud from Anthropic API. So AI ops will be there, but purely ML ops, there is some amount of demand for that. Just pure ML ops is not great. It will be AI ops where you adopt AI into your workflow. So I don't see it completely market shifting from DevOps to ML ops. I do not see that personally, or at least I mean, you need to take it with a pinch of salt. I am not representing the entire world. I'm just representing my experience here. So in my experience, this is the case.
Okay, okay. Yeah, that's great. Even I have the similar opinion, but yeah, I just would like to clarify our audience with your skill as well. Okay. So next thing is okay. Now we'll little bit dive into the DevOps because for the interest of our audience. So nowadays, okay, I feel that okay, without scripting knowledge, okay, it is quite difficult to manage the DevOps. Okay, so if somebody have that opinion, just leave it. You need the scripting. So if you recommend some scripting because you work with the DevOps as well, so which scripting do you recommend, or what how they can easily adapt to the scripting? Okay, because it happened for me. I will share my experience as well in between. Yeah, what is your opinion on this?
Yeah. Again, just like one of the previous questions, I consider this two parts. I will share my experience and see what you can take it out of that.
Hmm.
Since I started developing code right out of school and college, I was familiar with a little bit of Windows as well as Linux. But I personally preferred a lot of Linux, so I did a lot more Bash shell scripting than I did in PowerShell. PowerShell is new, VB script, and Windows Bash script. So I spent time writing PowerShell scripts. And based on PowerShell, I also moved up to into because I was trying to be very smart, but it didn't work out. But point was Python, particularly when you're working in Amazon, when that is the cloud I started, you can deploy infrastructure code using Python. Basically, Python scripting. You can do machine learning with Python. You can do application coding also with Python. So it ticked a couple of boxes or three boxes now because infrastructure is deployed with Python, application is deployed, and machine learning is also being done.
Okay.
So I decided to learn Python also. And by the way, when I decided to learn, I'm not talking about out of college. It was like already I had a job, and then I was shifting my career from one technology to another technology. So I started learning Python from scratch. And by the way, I did try to learn Ruby also. Somewhere I left it. This is also where you make some mistakes when you're learning some tooling and fail and then recover from it and then try to learn another one. So
Okay.
experience. And for people who are familiar with the Windows, doesn't mean that you need to completely shift from Windows to Python world. You can still write. Today, PowerShell is extremely powerful because I work in Microsoft Azure. You can do almost everything like provisioning the infrastructure and doing some basic level of automation with PowerShell. Can you write application level code? That is where it starts. Like you need to need something more. It's like how many knives you want to have in your kitchen.
Mm.
One is good, but it is not good enough for every job. You need to have different knives for different jobs. You cannot cut a tree with a small kitchen knife, right? You need a bigger one for that. So you need to choose what tooling you want for what job. So that is my experience. Go and start something, be expert in something, then go and see the use cases and add other skills.
Okay. Okay. Great. So you mean to say that whatever you feel that okay relevant to your job, try it out. Path will tell you that okay whether it is a right or wrong. If it is not right, okay, you can switch it according to the
Yes.
guidance. Okay, great. Now added to that one, so few people okay already working in the cloud, and they just want to shape up their career. They might have confusion that whether should I need to add anything extended to the cloud, like it could be DevOps or Python, or they have a confusion that okay whether I can become a multi-cloud expert. Okay, so in this dilemma, okay, what is your opinion to choose okay which could be the right path, going on top of the cloud skill, learning with the other skill, or going with the other cloud, okay, which can give the more visibility in the market, or which can give more secure for their jobs? Any recommendations for this? As I'm asking this question because you have experience with multi cloud.
Yeah, yeah. When I see sometimes in LinkedIn, people posting certificates from 5, 6 clouds, I sometimes wonder what is the level of knowledge they have in each of them, how much time they spent on learning all that, how much of that they use every single day. I have all these doubts myself.
Mm-hmm.
But coming to people who are actually trying to learn, forget about the people who are already doing this. If you're trying to learn, start with one. You can, in fact, Google these words, working backwards. This is from my previous employer, Amazon. What that means is set up an end goal, as I said in the beginning. Where do you want to go? And then once you have that end goal, then you have to work backwards to reaching that end goal, whether it is a product or technology or tooling. So in short, if you want a DevOps or cloud engineer, choose one cloud first. Become an expert in that one cloud. And which cloud will be the obviously next question. I'll come to that. Choose one cloud and then build some projects, POCs, and then build that social proof. Now, answering the question of which cloud, this is again, in my limited opinion, there are two horses that are going really fast in this market. Of course, Google and other players are coming back, but AWS and Azure are front runners in this market. Not because I have worked for them. Google has its own expertise in certain areas. They're super good in that. For example, machine learning and AI and all those things. But if you're a learner, beginner, start with one. You will not go wrong with either AWS or Azure. And even if it is Google also, you will not go wrong with it because you're starting learning there. Start with one at least, rather than trying to find, should I build the cloud skills on both of them? In my opinion, learn one, try to translate it to another cloud. That will be much, much faster than trying to build two houses at the same time. It will be much easier to build one, and then you know what mistakes you'll make, and then you avoid doing that mistakes when you're building the second one.
Okay, okay. So yeah, maybe I will rephrase this one now. So if already I know that one cloud, let's take that I have learned AWS cloud. I'm intermediate or expertise in this area. Now I get a confusion that okay, market is going too fast. Okay, now I might have a confusion. Should I need to learn the DevOps so that it will be added value to my cloud profile, or can I learn the Azure DevOps or another cloud? Okay, which can showcase my profile as a multi-cloud. In this what I can say in this prospect, what is your opinion?
Yeah, if you have gained expertise in one, go ahead and get exposure on the other one also. It's never going to go wrong. I had this analogy, I think, when we were discussing earlier. If you learn more than one language, I'm not talking about language, I'm not talking about programming languages, I'm talking about an Indian language like Hindi, English, Tamil, or Telugu. You can go to more places, you can socialize with more people, you can get to know more different cultures. It is the same with the technology also. The more you learn, the more welcome you will find yourself in different places and the more opportunities you will find yourself. But you need to have that expertise in at least one of them.
Okay, okay, got you. Next thing, as we are talking about the cloud, okay, nowadays in the cloud, security became a major concern. Okay, so what I can say, the security measurement or best practices. Okay, is there anything you recommend, because you have already done a lot of research on this one and you have Udemy courses on the same? Okay, do you have any recommendations if somebody is working on entry-level cloud jobs or entry-level, of course, in the DevOps jobs? Is there anything, okay, theoretically we can look in and make our environments more secure?
Yeah, the security market is exploding, to be honest. It is not just the good people of the world and the good citizens of the world using AI for doing good things. There are also bad actors who are also using all this tooling and generating incidents and events which are not pleasant. So the security market is also exploding. Whether you're talking about cloud security or application security or enterprise security, whatever scale you are talking about, there is market is exploding, and it is important and it is necessary for everybody who is learning or already working to know about securing their application or whatever work they are doing. You need to keep that in your mind always. Security is not something, a label that you put at the end saying that this application is secure. When you're building the application, when you're trying to deploy something, the most simplest example, I'm just going to simplify it, super simple. If you're launching a VM in any cloud, don't open it for port 22 or RDP for the entire world. Very simple. You need to restrict it to some IP address. If you're going to have a user, make sure that user's password, if God forbid, if you have to use password, make sure the password is not 5 characters or 6 characters. Make it really complex password. If you possible, go ahead and put them into a bastion host. So this is how security gets added to everything that you're doing, just as an example. So security starts from the beginning, and there are tooling. For example, you asked me where you can read about it. All the cloud providers have something called as a well-architected framework, and one of the pillars is security pillar. There's a lot of documentation available on how to secure your workloads, how to create secure ecosystems or applications also. Go and read about it. It's public and it is free. So you have information.
Okay. All right. Great to know that. Okay. Added to this one. Okay. Even actually we tempted to take security as a last part. First we'll do everything, then we'll think about the security, but we never come back to fix that. Okay. Then we realize somebody says that, okay, after hacking your application or doing something, then we realize that, okay, we missed that, because of that it is happening. So it should become a habit. So to secure the things from the starting itself.
Yes.
Yep. Very good insights around this. Okay. Next thing. Okay. So this we were discussing from the years together, but okay, automation is fundamental to the DevOps. Okay, how do you determine which process to automate, and how do you strike a balance between the automation and the manual intervention? How we can take the decision that, okay, this is where we need the manual intervention, or this is where we need the automation? Any
that is a very, very good question. Because as a mental exercise, sometimes I'm asking my customers and my teammates to do this because we all have resource constraints, whether it is cost, meaning number of people you have to solve a problem, or the time that you have to solve the problem, or amount of money you have to solve the problem. In project management, they call it as a golden pyramid. You always have constraints, what means that you need to prioritize which problem to solve. So basically, we can rephrase this as, if I have 10 processes or 10 activities to automate, which one to automate? How will I prioritize? One of the techniques that I have found useful is the Pareto rule, which is nothing but an 80% of the problems is caused by 20% of the issues. So if you have a list of activities, which activity is costing most time? For example, let us say activity 1 is taking 10 hours to complete, activity 2 is taking 5 hours to complete, then start with the one which is taking more effort to complete. And again, you can also, there is an Eisenhower matrix also, prioritization matrix. You can Google this. This is not something that I made up. How to prioritize, what is the urgency and what is the impact? There might be some small activities which you can easily do and have a very high impact. So then you can pick up that one and show to your management saying, hey, I did this one, the result is so huge and it is very beneficial. And then you get buy-in for doing more automation. So these are all different techniques of how to prioritize which activity to automate. The first one is purely based on the effort. The second one is based on the impact and the urgency as well. So you can Google prioritization techniques. There are many of them. These two I have found it simple to use, and I found a lot of success with it.
Okay, yeah, that's good, but not Google now. Okay, ask GPT.
Of course. Probably GPT will tell you how to do it also, not just
how to do it also. Yep, good. Okay, all right. So next question, I'm coming like, now we can see that most of the applications are microservices. How it is going to be? Is it going to be a new normal using the microservices? So that definitely I'm feeling that, okay, some of the tools get affected in the DevOps pipeline, especially if you ask Ansible, okay, when we go to the microservices. However, so what is your opinion? Okay, going forward, is it going to be a microservice? If that is the case, how we can tune up our skill level in the cloud environment, cloud and DevOps level?
Okay, that is a multi-layered question. What is the future of microservices and the impact of microservices for a DevOps?
Okay, you put it in the right way then.
It's hard to generalize this answer because each company has its own adoption journey in application maturity also. We talk about this legacy application modernization. Whichever cloud provider you take, there will be a program or there will be an opportunity to migrate your legacy workload. When I say legacy, we are talking about client servers, mainframes, and all those kind of workloads where everything is on a single physical box. whereas the microservices aims to make it into a functional components. Each component is separately deployed and then independently scaled and managed. So when you break it up into those things, then everything talks to as an API level. So configuration, everything is individually managed. This means that you need to have a certain level of a developer maturity to achieve that. Is organizations ready for doing a microservices today? We are not yet there completely. I wouldn't say 100%, but companies are moving, the enterprises are moving towards that direction. So there is a journey that is ongoing now. So like there are legacy workloads and there are workloads with microservices, and everything is shifting towards that side. And of course, there are very small cases where you will need to have independent, let us say, a monolithic application will be required, but majority is shifting towards microservices. That's the first part of your answer to the first question. Microservices is happening and it will keep happening more and more. What that means to a DevOps engineer's life is you need to learn how to manage the lifecycle of an microservice now. At least if I rewind the clock a little bit, 5-10 years ago or 15 years ago, if you are a DevOps engineer, all you have to do is deploy some cloud infrastructure. You don't need to know anything about application at all. You will get a job. 10 years ago, if you do VPCs, VNets, and the blobs, you will get a job. Today, you need to understand a little bit of scripting. That is a basic requirement. And the future is you need to learn a little bit of application also, how the application works, a little bit of how the microservices connect to each other. Have we reached there? Not yet, but I'm expecting with the GPT's help, everybody will be able to understand what the application does, where it is connecting to. So in short, you need to understand how the microservices work, and tooling like configuration management will morph into some other things. Ansible was not there. Ansible was great for configuring VMs and setting up VMs in a consistent way at scale. How to configure containers, how to deploy containers. There is a Kubernetes tries to solve the problem now. Yeah. All the configuration is going into Kubernetes configuration and YAML files. Instead of writing Ansible YAMLs, now we write Kubernetes YAMLs now. So it is shifting from one place to another place. So you need to be familiar with how do I write Kubernetes YAML files now in an automated fashion. So that is what I would expect the people to know and manage it at scale. And because quite often you will not run one Kubernetes container, you'll probably run 10 or 15. How do you manage a deployment across those many clusters? So there is tooling will be required, but it will not be the same format and same thing. It will be something else.
Yeah. Okay. Instead of mentioning Ansible, I can mention it as a configuration management. Yeah. Microservices. You can avoid the configuration management. There is no necessity. Yeah. Okay. So with that, I just came to the last question. Okay. So as a mentor or advisor, how do you guide individuals in staying updated with the rapidly changing technologies and practices in the cloud and the DevOps space? Do you have any recommendations for our candidates?
Yeah, this is a mantra that I am trying to follow. Keep learning, keep your eyes on the horizon, look out for the changes, and learn on things that will put you in a path for success.
Okay, all right. That's great. And it's lovely to talk with you, Navin, and thank you for your knowledge, what you shared in this podcast. It is going to definitely helpful for our audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for inviting me here. Really happy to be here and share my experience. Hopefully we'll meet in the future.
Yep, definitely. We'll meet again. Thank you.
Very much. Bye.